Can y'all believe the audacity? Treating me like a common criminal.
Y'all, the Chrisleys have been released and the internet is so divided. Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, at the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody is feeling good. So in today's video, y'all, we got to talk about the Chrisleys. When I tell y'all, everybody seems to be talking about this situation. Even my mother-in-law, y'all, and it's divided. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And people have a lot of opinions. And we're going to go over all of it here today. Before we get into it, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things way more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up. And over there, we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There's a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. Just make sure you read the full about section of what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and I'm also on Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of things that I use or that y'all ask about. Everything from makeup to clothing, skincare, hair care products, furniture, workout gear, all kinds of stuff. All of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. Before we go any further, I did want to stop and thank today's sponsor, Trade. If you know anything about me, then you know I absolutely love my coffee. And most people that love their coffee, they have their go-to coffee that they're familiar with, the coffee that just gets the job done, and that's it. But what if you are missing out on something way better? That's where today's sponsor, Trade, comes in. Trade will introduce you to new, freshly roasted coffees that are next level good. I mean, as soon as you open the bag, you can just smell the freshness. And once the coffee is roasted and you taste it, it basically just ruins any other boring cup of coffee you've ever had, but only in the best possible way. Trade is the #1 U.S. coffee destination, bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. And it's really cool because you go on their website, you'll take their quiz, and in under a minute, they will match you with your perfect coffee. And if your first bag isn't quite right, Trade will replace it for free until they get you what you want. When I got my bag of Nightcap and I opened it and I smelled the beans, which had these hints of like dark chocolate and almond, very sweet and rich, I was really excited. When I use my espresso machine and I grind my own beans, that is a real treat for me. I just love the whole process. However, with Trade, you can get whole beans, you can get ground beans, as well as decaf, espresso, all different types of blends, cold brew, small bags, big bags, and even bulk. So there's basically something for everyone. And right now, Trade is exclusively offering my listeners 50% off of your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/Christina. Yes, that's drinktrade, TRADE.com/Christina for 50% off of your 1-month trial today. Thanks again, Trade. Okay, so to talk about the Chrisleys and why they're even relevant, if y'all don't know, I'm going to give y'all the backstory, and then we're going to bring it all the way up to what's going on to this time frame. So Todd Chrisley was an Atlanta-based multimillionaire real estate developer and an entrepreneur. He's married to a woman named Julie, and they have 5 children total. There is 2 that Todd had with his first wife, and then he had 3 with his current wife, Julie. Now, Todd and Julie Chrisley came to fame back in 2014 when their reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best premiered. And y'all, when I tell you the way that that show had a chokehold on so many people, so many of y'all, either your family members or your parents, This show was very, very popular. The show ended up following the life of Todd and Julie and mostly their oldest children, Chase and Savannah. Other people that made appearances, like Todd's mother, Nanny Faye, would pop in and out of the show. And when I tell y'all, absolutely hilarious she was. Now, Chrisley Knows Best was USA Network's #1 original program in 2020. I mean, explosively popular. It averaged more than 2 million views across platforms for the first month after its season 8 premiere. We're talking about this was a big fan favorite. A spinoff called Growing Up Chrisley also came out, as well as Chrisley Knows Best, but they were later canceled in 2023 following a lot of the drama of Todd and Julie being arrested in 2019. So after they were arrested in 2019, it was just thing after thing after thing, and before you know it, the shows were canceled. So you got the background, right? You've got this family, you've got this husband who's absolutely hilarious. You've got his beautiful wife. They've got 5 children. They're all a personality. Todd has this big, huge personality, and then boom, they're arrested. Okay, now the Chrisleys were first indicted by a federal grand jury in Atlanta in 2019 for tax evasion, conspiracy, and 12 counts of bank and wire fraud. The evasion charge was later dropped, but prosecutors still accused the Chrisleys and their former accountant, Peter Tarantino, of submitting fake bank and financial statements so they could get loans from as early as 2007 all the way up until 2012. So basically, in layman's terms, they were accused of cooperating with this other person, coming up with these fake statements, sending them to the bank and saying, hey, I need a loan for, I'm just giving you an example, I need a loan from the bank for $10 million. This is how much money I make. Here is this bank statement. This is the money I have coming in, even though that statement was fake. Okay, and then they would get these loans. Prosecutors allege that the Chrisleys have been committing offenses for years before they became famous, and that their show only boosted evidence of their fraud and also them like hiding money that they were making from taxes. You know, like instead of paying their taxes, they were hiding their money in different avenues, which if it's true, we'll just say this, if it's true, they wouldn't be the only like rich and elite people to hide money in different places. Just throwing that out there. Prosecutors also claim that Todd and Julie attempted to avoid paying off their debts after Todd declared bankruptcy, even though they were still living a life of luxury and they were still making a lot of money from their television show. Prosecutors also said that Todd evaded $500,000 in taxes to the IRS. Now, this is when things start getting a bit juicy because Todd's former business partner, Mark Braddock, played a big part in Todd and Julie's convictions. He was actually given full immunity to testify against the Chrisleys. Now, this is the part that I find very interesting because he claimed that he witnessed Todd and Julie commit their crimes and that he even helped them commit them. But in 2012, according to Mark, he and Todd had a huge falling out. Isn't that the way it always goes? And eventually, Mark led to turning the Chrisleys into the FBI. So let me break this down for you again in layman's terms. So allegedly, the Chrisleys are committing all this different fraud, right? Banks, the bankruptcy thing, This business partner, Mark, gets into it with Todd. So they have a falling out, and Todd fires him and says, okay, we can't make this work. I'm cutting ties with you. That guy gets salty and has it out now for the Chrisleys. And allegedly, during the trial, he even admitted on the stand that, yeah, he wanted to get back at them. And he said, I'm going to fix you up right now. I'm going to go to the FBI and tell them everything that you've been doing and get immunity for myself. So he's going to go in there and say, listen, I can tell y'all about some big famous person on this big hit show, all this stuff that they were doing, but you got to give me paperwork saying that I won't get in any trouble. And allegedly they made that deal. And so he went and told everything that he said happened. Not only that though, but Mark also claimed that he had had an affair with Todd for about a year in the early 2000s. He even testified in court that he and Todd had ended up paying off this other person that was blackmailing them. So there was this third person that found out that Mark and Todd allegedly was having a relationship, okay? And then so they paid this person $38,000 not to say anything. Mark was married at the time, and he said that his wife had no idea about any of this, no idea about the affair, until he had to confess to her before he announced it to the world during the trial. So he had kept this affair that he's saying that he had with Todd in the early 2000s a secret all these years, and allegedly let it all out just to spite Todd because they broke up their business partnership. Can you imagine ever being that mad? I mean, like, anyways, the drama, y'all. And now it's important to say that Todd has denied all of these claims.
To finally be accused of being with a man, it would be someone that looked like Mark Braddock. It's actually in the transcript that he had only been with his wife and me, and it was just something he wanted to try. Nah, I ain't that small spoon that you get at Baskin and Robbins. Let me tell you something. I can understand if you'd have had sex with me, how it would have ran you crazy. I get that. There have been many that have been hypnotized by your daddy. But now that little short, sawed-off thing was wishful thinking.
Now, Todd's defense attorneys claimed during the trial that Mark was actually the one that committed all of these crimes, and they alleged that Mark impersonated Todd and committed these crimes behind Todd and Julie's back. But nevertheless, the trial went on. It was a jury trial, and Todd ended up being sentenced to 12 years in federal prison, and Julie was sentenced to 7 years after the jury found them guilty on all counts. They were also ordered to pay more than $15 million in restitution. They began serving their sentences in January of 2023, and Todd served his time in a prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, while Julie was sent to the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky. Both Todd and Julie filed requests to appeal their cases in April of 2024. Todd's was immediately denied and Julie's was granted due to insufficient evidence, but the judge still upheld the original sentencing. And this was just recently in December of last year, 2024. The Chrisleys have always maintained their innocence. Their attorney, Alex Little, has said that the Chrisleys were targeted because of their conservative values and basically because they were so high profile or like really famous. Savannah, their daughter, has said the same. However, she's given even more details into why she believes that her parents were targeted.
Because we were at my grandfather's funeral when my mom got a call from a banker that was like, hey, you just cleared out your account. Is everything okay? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do this. And that's when they started uncovering what my Mark Braddock, my dad's former business partner, had done. And so at that point, he went to law enforcement. And my thing is, it's like, if you're doing something illegal, you're not going to the police. And he actually went on the stand and said, I did all of these things. So at trial, the government gave him full immunity. So he can never be prosecuted for the crimes that he committed. And that just doesn't happen. All the lawyers that I have hired since trial, they're like, that doesn't happen. Like the government may give you some leniency, but they're not just going to completely make you immune from all the criminal misconduct. And so he got on the stand and said, I falsified documents. I signed their names to things. I was in their emails. I was like, I mean, it was wild.
Did he say he did it, or was he saying, well, they asked me to do it?
He said he did it, but they knew.
That they knew.
Yeah, that was always his. They did it. I did it, but they knew about it.
Now, after her parents were convicted, Savannah not only took on advocating for her parents, but she also took on her younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe, as well. And if you don't know, Chloe is technically her niece. And so that might be why a lot of y'all have seen Savannah's face everywhere. She has been advocating for them, and she has been raising her two younger siblings. And in all honesty, a lot of people were shocked to see them get so much time in prison. So Todd and Julie's case was brought to President Trump's attention by Alice Marie Johnson. And if you do not know who Alice Marie Johnson is, I highly suggest you go and search her up. She seems amazing. She's actually the president's pardon czar. So her job is to present or go out and find cases for people that she believes deserves to be pardoned to President Trump. Why would she be an expert in this? Well, because back in 1996, she was sentenced to life in prison for some crimes, but she spent so many decades in prison helping others, doing things for others, even though she thought she was never going to get out. Then she was pardoned, and now she's working under the current president in order to go out into the prison systems and see who else had harsh sentences and help them get out too. I mean, I cannot imagine a better way to be pardoned is to go out and be able to help others. And you may remember seeing Kim Kardashian working on her case as well.
This is Kim. It's Kim. Hi, Kim. How you doing? Angel, my war angel.
I cannot believe it. We did it. We did it.
What happened?
We did it. You don't know?
No, she doesn't know. You're telling her the news.
Oh my gosh, Alice, you're out.
Yes.
The White House posted this video to X to announce that the Chrisleys were being pardoned.
Terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow. Is that okay? We'll try getting it done tomorrow. So wonderful. Give them, I don't know them, but give them my regards and wish them a good life.
Mr. President.
Yes. How are you?
I just want to say thank you for bringing my parents back.
Congratulate your parents.
Congratulations, Savannah.
And Alice had a lot to do with this, and just congratulate your parents. And I hear they're terrific people. This should not have happened. So, and you just take care. Boy, they have good children. You're no longer children, but I'll say it anyway. They have good children, don't they, huh?
Alex Little, the Chrisleys' attorney, said that he did not know why the president chose to pardon Todd and Julie, but he did say that he had given Alice Johnson a binder of court documents and testimonies. Savannah posted this video talking about how shocked she was when she found out that her parents had been pardoned.
Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all, I tried to do an Instagram live earlier, and I was driving, trying to get home to get my life together, and we are freaking out over here. Well, I have shed so many tears. The president called me personally as I was walking into Sam's Club and notified me that he was signing pardon paperwork for both of my parents. So both my parents are coming home tonight or tomorrow, and I still don't believe it's real. I'm freaking out.
Now, immediately after their release, it seems like so many people on the internet and so many in the media have either been waiting to get a picture of the Chrisleys or to see them one way or another.
Let me tell y'all something. I don't know a whole lot, but what I do know is that Todd Chrisley is in a kitchen chair right now with a dentist giving him Botox and Juvederm. Now y'all ain't gonna see him for a minute. This is the timeline, I'm telling you. So today's what? Wednesday. So by next Wednesday, you're gonna see him out and about, because that Botox is gonna have time to have set in and smooth out whatever he's had going on up in the prison. Unless he sneaked it in that prison somehow. I mean, he could have. So I'm just telling you, wait for Wednesday. We're going to see a Todd and Julie reveal. We're going to see him at the hair. He's getting fulls at some point. He's probably got a hairdresser coming to the house. He's getting fulls. He's eating some good takeout. Probably Nanny Faye's over there janking on him, because she's like, you look like shit, Todd. Because this is her time to shine too. We got to get them back.
Savannah, their daughter, posted this picture of her parents speaking to each other. And then Savannah posted this video of her and Todd in Nordstrom saying that they were giving the paparazzi their first look.
You bitches are not paying your bills for me.
All right, here we go. All right, go. I'm going to walk with you. We're gonna
I've had to get these poor people here at the Nordstroms to help me escape. Hell, they should have been there 28 months ago.
I could have done something for you. All right, go, Dad. Thank y'all.
Did you get your picture?
Getting the picture.
Look at him.
Can y'all believe the audacity? Treating me like a common criminal.
Shut up. I cannot.
And it took a while to really see Todd's face. And there were so many rumors online of people saying that he needed to go get his Botox real quick because he loved his Botox before he went to prison and all of that. However, when Todd went to give this press conference, he ain't had time to either have Botox, or if he did, it hasn't kicked in yet because it takes a good week. And he looked just fine. So Savannah and Todd gave this press conference just 2 days after the pardon.
It could be you. It could be you. It could be any of you. And somewhere in this room, someone has had a family member that has been affected by this system. So I understand the shame that's around it, but I refuse to feed into that because shame is like a cancer that just spreads, and I have no shame. So I will continue to fight for all of the guys that I dealt with and that I was blessed to be with at FPC Pensacola. I will continue to expose the injustices that go on there and throughout the department and throughout the Bureau of Prisons. I know that Julie, who is a wonderful, decent, God-fearing woman and that I am blessed to have been married to and been with for over 30 years now, an excellent mother. She's at home with Chloe right now, and Chloe will not let her go. So we're blessed to have our family back, and we're blessed to be coming back to television because we do have a much bigger story to tell now than we ever have. So I thank each and every one of you.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really watch their show every now and then with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was a big fan of their show. I know who they are, but I haven't watched it. However, the show that they're getting ready to put out now, because they are filming, I am going to watch that because I want to know their side of the story. I want to know what they're saying happened. I think it's very bizarre that they had this business partner who they got into it with, and he went as far as going to the FBI and exposing himself for an affair that he said happened to his wife and all of this stuff. It seems like there was more to it. That just doesn't make sense. There seems like there was more to it, and I'm curious to see what their side is. And for all the fans that have been wondering if they are going to be filming for a new show, yes, they've been filming as soon as they walked out those prison gates, and allegedly it's going to be on Lifetime, and it will be premiering later this year, 2025. Now, we got to talk about the fact that there have been a lot of mixed opinions on whether or not Todd and Julie should have been pardoned or released from prison. A lot of people feel like it's not fair. Some people think it's just privilege, or other people believe that it's just because they're famous. And then there's a lot of people that believe that the Chrisleys are getting justice for being overly prosecuted, or at the very least, overly sentenced. So what do you think? I'm really curious. I do think that that was a big sentence. 12 years. They've never even been in trouble before. It's 7 years. And according to Savannah, once you read the transcripts of everything that happened in court, I also feel like when you have these high profile people that maybe the whole country or even the world is invested in their lives, they're doing television shows and stuff like that, let cameras in the courtroom. Like, let us know. And because like the same thing with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation, the cameras in the courtroom was very beneficial. People could see the whole trial. Then they made up their mind one way or another. But when you keep the cameras out of the courtroom, like even with the Diddy trial, it's like, anyways, again, I don't have a lot of opinions. I didn't watch them like that. I will be paying attention because I do want to know what their side of all of this is now that they're going to have a voice and be able to talk about it. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.